Munira Al-Hamri, who is the administrative assistant of our department, and we have here their email address if someone wants to reach them and ask them for additional, information that will not be provided in this presentation. So basically, many people, many students, in fact, don't know what is industrial and systems engineering. We all know what, for example, mechanical engineers do. They design and develop mechanical systems. What, for example, civil engineers do, we know that they design and develop, uh, you know, buildings, bridges, these infrastructure systems. Now, industrial and systems engineers, basically, they are involved in the development, the design of any complex system. Even, for example, the construction of a nuclear power plant, for example, or the construction of an airplane, the development of an airplane, you will find systems engineers involved in this, team work, team contribution to develop these large complex systems. Why? Because systems engineers basically are at the very beginning of any development of a complex system. They will define with the customers or with the top management all the requirements, all what we want this specific system to perform, to do, and then they will coordinate the work with all the other engineer specialists. So for example, if we have mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, material engineers, computer engineers, a large number of engineers involved in the development of a complex system, as we can imagine, this collaboration between these different teams of engineers, specialists in their discipline, require someone to, or a specific discipline to coordinate the work. And that's kind of the job of systems engineers in most of the development of complex systems. So that's not only the jobs that systems engineers do. Systems engineers basically have a lot of other functions that they can perform in organizations if they are not involved in the one related to the example that I just mentioned. For example, in companies like Boeing or Airbus, when they are developing these complex airplanes, when we need teams of systems engineers to coordinate the work of other engineers, they have other type of these functions that I'm going to share with you. So they are involved in many type of functions, such as manufacturing, also process, in organization, in development, in safety, and I'm going to list this with a little bit more details. So how industrial and systems engineers can basically be prepared to do this kind of broad and diverse type of activities and tasks. So as other engineers, obviously, they will have a strong foundation in science, in math. So like all, other engineering discipline, there is this strong foundation in physics, chemistry, and mathematics. And then they will learn specific skills related to this discipline of industrial and systems engineering. They will learn analytic methods that include mathematical modeling. So for example, when we want to improve the way we organize a specific process, like a manufacturing facility, how the operations are managed in this facility, we can represent this with the model, with the mathematical model, and we can solve the problem to find the optimum set of variables, like how many workers we need, how many hours we need to use machine A, machine B to have the maximum output from this facility, for example. This is something that we can describe with mathematical models, linear programs, for example, and this is something that we learn in this program of industrial and system engineering. Statistics, of course, are very important also. You have learned or heard about data science in many, papers or presentations, certainly. So data science is very important component of industrial and systems engineering, and statistic is one tool that helps to analyze data. Operation research is related to improving the operations that I mentioned in, for example, any facility. System theory and management. So basically, we understand also how to describe any system and also how to manage projects, for example, in management science. So these are all aspects of what we learn in this program of industrial and systems engineering. These are some examples of courses that are in our curriculum: operation management, optimization, supply chain and logistics, system project management, modeling and simulation, engineering economic and human factors. So these are all like important courses that are part of the curriculum of industrial and systems engineering. Um, and of course, in any engineering major, the economic aspect of what we do, the product that we develop are very important. So of course, in this major as well, we have a specific course on engineering economic analysis that help a student to understand the importance of the cost of the systems that we design and take into account the economic factor in the analysis of the solutions that can be proposed to the client or to the top management. Um, in these pictures, we have examples of application of what we learn in industrial and systems engineering to two completely different fields. In the picture here, this is a picture of a healthcare facility, a hospital. So we can apply the skills that we learn in industrial and system engineering to improve how hospitals work, are organized, how patients, that arrive in a specific desk are served, how we can improve the speed at which we serve them, how much, we can determine how many employees should be at the desk, and so on. And all these things can be simulated, and the IDs can be tested until we find, the one that satisfies the need of the customer. And we have, for example, collaborated with the Cleveland Clinic and other hospitals for our students to do internships or senior design project and to study one specific operation and try to see how it can be improved. And in one situation, students were able to provide a way to better organize the operation of the hospital and to save a lot of money at the end. Another picture here represents an assembly line for cars. And so obviously this is one important aspect also of this discipline. This is where the industrial engineering basically is described. Industrial engineering is the application of all these tools of systems engineering specifically to manufacturing. And we learn in the courses that we offer how we can define, the facilities in the best way possible, which is facility layout, how the machines can be implemented in a way that the flow of production can be run smoothly. We can also learn how to manage the operation, the number of parts that should be delivered to the specific place of the factory, how it should be stored. The human factors is also here. The human factor is an important component because, as we know, of course, people will interact with machines, and the way we design how machines will be placed should be done in a way that the operators will be operating these machines safely first, but then also in a way that can be done such that they will not be exhausted or tired or at risk. And so this is what we study in the course called human factors. Basically, it's how we design the interface between machines and human. When we want to design the dashboard of an airplane or a dashboard of a car, human factors is the science that behind how the different components, different indicators should be displayed in the front of the operator, in the front of the driver, to make the process as safe, as smooth as possible. So this is what we study in this specific field of human factors, which is part of industrial engineering. So some overview of all the different working areas where industrial and systems engineer can work. So with the two previous examples that I mentioned, this kind of tells you that industrial and systems engineers can work in many different industries and organizations. Of course, manufacturing is very important because of the fact that we have the industrial engineering component in our program, but also in finance, in defense and aerospace, in healthcare, as I mentioned, in supply chain, for example, in companies like Noon, Amazon, Aramex, FedEx, all these kind of company that their job is basically to bring product from one place to the customer. This is what we call the supply chain, and we have, of course, our students have a strong training to learn the skills of how to design, how to optimize supply chain, for many and any industry, basically. Management, of course, is also one type of job that our students can do. Military and homeland security, energy sector, government agency, public service, basically, any industry, any structure that you can think about, industrial and systems engineers can always contribute to improve basically the operations, to design smooth structure so then people can work safely and efficiently. Another aspect of, or another type of job that industrial and systems engineers can do that I forgot to mention on this slide is consulting. Consulting is also a very important industry. Basically, consulting companies provide services to all the companies that are kind of mentioned around this slide by basically helping them to better organize and structure their company, their organization, their operations. And this is what consultants try to do for these companies, for their customers. That's the job of consulting company in general, to analyze a problem in a given industry or company and then provide solutions. And that's kind of what systems engineers do the best, analyze a given situation, system, process, and then provide solutions, simulate them to test them, and then at the end provide recommendations to the customers. So again, in this slide here, we can see different functions that industrial engineers can do in project management, in managing the operation of factories, in the quality control in companies, in production control, in supply chain, in designing how factories, plants, can be laid out, how the layout of the facility can be done. Product engineering, this is how, like I mentioned before, the development of a product can be managed with many different engineering teams involved, many different engineering specialties as well. The financial aspect, training, of course, education, and safety and human factors. That's also a word that is similar to human factors. It's called ergonomic. That's the science of human interactions with machines. So that's kind of an overview of also of what industrial engineers functions can be possible. So about industrial and system engineering at Khalifa University. So our department at Khalifa University basically started when the universities Kustar, PI, and Masdar merged in 2017 from a relatively small department with about 35 students, undergrad students total, to today more than 160 undergraduate students in the program. So we have been very fortunate to have a lot of young, you know, students in our program, joining our program and choosing industrial and systems engineering for all the reasons that I mentioned before, with the fact that it prepares engineers to basically apply their skills to many industries and diverse organization and industries. Um, so again, in terms of uh, activities of industrial system engineers, they help make decisions. So they are helping decision makers, leaders, to select the best, way to use, people, material, equipment, energy to, at the end, minimize the cost and make their organization successful. And these type of decisions are related to the productivity, the quality, the efficiency, and the optimization. Um, they use, as I mentioned, mathematical and statistical tools to design facilities, processes, supply chain, and at the end generate an optimal operation plans to better produce a product or services for the company. And of course, this profile of engineers are very important for businesses, but also for government organization, government agencies to help make them competitive in global markets. So at Khalifa University, we have also a student chapter of this professional organization called the Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineers. So this is basically an organization that promotes the discipline of industrial and systems engineer. They organize conferences. They share the recent knowledge and studies in the field. And so we have our students in our department that have take the leadership to have a student chapter for this professional organization, and they help organize seminars, visit to companies in the region of Abu Dhabi, and so on. So, of course, this year was a challenging year for everybody, and the activity of the group was limited, but still they try to help each other and develop a network of future engineers that can help each other in the future as well. We are also in the process of having another uh, professional organization student chapter at the university, at Khalifa University. So it's the Healthcare Analytics and Management Initiative. And so we will be also promoting this student chapter pretty soon when it will be up and running. Um, Here we have an overview of all the courses that are required in the program of ASYE. Some of them were mentioned in a previous slide when I was presenting the different core courses that are offered. And these are some additional technical electives that our students can choose from. And we continue to add on a regular basis courses, technical elective courses, so that our students can have a large choice of options that they can choose from. For example, this semester we have added a technical elective on um, health, safety, and environment course. So basically related to how to make a workplace safe from the you know human perspective, and then also from the environmental perspective. And so we again keep trying to add courses so that our student can have an even larger uh, you know uh, spectrum of electives to choose from. In terms of our alumni and where industrial and systems engineers work in the UAE. As you can recognize here, many very important companies are presented, and this is not limited to these companies. Our alumni work in, of course, in many other companies. Uh, they work in oil and gas industry, telecommunication, uh, healthcare, Cleveland Clinic, in airline companies, Mubadala, in banking, airport, Abu Dhabi port company, government agencies. McKinsey and Company is a very one of the largest consulting company in the world. They have a branch in the UAE and in Abu Dhabi. This is also where ASYE graduates work and can work. So as you can see, very broad, uh, you know, industries, and in the world, it's even, of course, more diverse. All the big companies that we know have industrial and systems engineers working with them and for them. Maybe here you can recognize Walt Disney Company. So, for example, industrial and systems engineers help design amusement parks, because if you think about an amusement park, basically you have the layout of the attraction that needs to be defined, how people will walk inside this amusement park. So you have a flow of people that will be walking inside this park. So we need to design these amusement parks in a way that is safe, but also that is efficient. So then we can manage the larger possible number of people, of customers in these parks, during the opening hours. So all this kind of thinking, design is what we do, what we learn to do in this program of industrial and systems engineering. And of course, large company like Amazon, I mentioned the supply chain. They use a lot of knowledge from systems engineering, industrial and system engineering. A lot of graduates from industrial and system engineering worldwide are working in these kind of companies. And of course, in manufacturing, like Toyota, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Mercedes, industrial and systems engineering are key to help this organization, you know, uh, be the most efficient possible to compete with the other competitors worldwide. So that basically conclude my overview, my presentation about the industrial and systems engineering major. Um, I'm not sure if we have questions from our students in this session.
So, hi, Doctor. This is Hammam again from the Careers Office.
Yes, hello.
So, interesting presentation, Doctor. And
Thank you.
it made me think about actually stop what I'm doing and start all over again.
We have graduate program. If you're interested, we have
Yeah,
the master's degree in engineering systems and management, where basically you can have the same kind of output, also opportunity for career for at the graduate level for graduate students. Also, I didn't mention our graduate programs, but the focus, I guess, was mainly on undergrad and major
yes.
selection. Yeah. Hmm.
It's very interesting. And I wanted to ask if I'm a student who's going to choose this kind of major, I hear a lot about AI, artificial technology, and how it
Yes.
is impacting jobs in the future. What
Yes.
do I need to do as a student at KU to be ready for such change, rapid change?
Yes. Well, thank you for this important question. So yes, the field of artificial intelligence and robotics is also something that we uh, we address in our department. We have research related to this field uh, at the graduate level, and we give also the opportunity to our students at the undergrad level to participate in some research when they are doing their senior design project. In the senior year, all our students at Khalifa University have to work during the entire year on a specific project in a team. And in our department, our students in their senior design project can work on with customers, with real customers, like from the industry, like Cleveland Clinic or Miral that is managing yes island attraction, like all the parks, all the malls and so on are managed by a company called Miral. So we had a team of students that worked with Miral, for example, last year to improve their shuttle that transport their customers from the hotels to the different attractions to make it more efficient and so on. So when our students are not working directly with clients that we try to approach as well, we give our students also opportunities to work with faculty members that are doing research. And so some of our researchers, faculty members are doing research on, for example, machine learning, how to train programs to learn to do tasks automatically. So that's basically what is artificial intelligence about, is to use computers to train them with a lot of data so then they can learn to recognize patterns, and then they will help to make decision quickly to specific situation. And so that's how we try to use machine learning in the artificial intelligence word. So we don't have specific course per se related to machine learning, but we we have course on on data analysis, where we try to introduce our students to this notion of machine learning and artificial intelligence. And we are thinking about certainly adding technical elective where students can have a specific course on programming, on learning how to develop code that can help use the knowledge of machine learning in specific applications of let's say classification of objects, recognizing specific disease based on inputs from patients and so on. So that's something that we are not specifically offering in our program right now, but thinking about offering as technical elective for our students who are interested by this subject.
Interesting. And do you guys go into competitions against other universities in the field?
Yes, so we have our senior students since a couple of years now. They when they develop their project during the year, they have a specific problem to solve. And so we encourage our students to participate in international conferences to present their findings, their work, and of course to promote our university abroad. So for example, I am supervising a team of senior students. They are working with the company Tadwir here in Abu Dhabi to try to improve the way the process of their trucks operates in a more efficient way. And so they have developed a simulation, tested some ideas of how the routes of the trucks can be modified to make them more efficient, reduce the number of kilometers they will drive, and also obviously the pollution that they generate when they drive in the city. And so this is basically, you know, uh, tools that they have learned in their program, in industrial and system engineering program, and then apply them to a specific problem. And so they will be presenting this this project with their result of the simulation and solution that they propose in a conference, for example, at the University of Virginia in April. And I believe they have presented also in another conference this week. I forgot the name of that other conference. I was not in
The
charge of that. Sorry?
IEOM.
Oh, you are here,
IEOM.
Khalid. So please,
Yes,
Khalid,
hi.
then please explain what you are doing. You will be explain better than I was doing.
Yes, so as Professor Ali mentioned, we are working with Tadwir, and we have been trying to improve their waste management process, the way they collect waste, and Yes, we do. We have competed actually. On Sunday was our presentation, the IOM International SDP competition. So yeah, there are a lot of competitions, and also we are going to hopefully present our project in a conference held in University of Virginia, sponsored by SEEDS, SEIEDS. Yep.
Thank you very much, Khalid. Yeah, so Khalid is a team member of a senior team that is working on the project that I was referring to. So I invited Khalid to join and to help provide, information and answers to prospective students in our department. And thank you, Khalid, for joining the session.
Thank you,
Nice.
Khalid. I believe we have Hassan Youssef who has a question. Hassan, can you introduce yourself and then give us your question, please?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Salam.
I don't know if it's okay to use my mic or I should type in my question in the chat.
Your mic is perfect, ya Hassan. We can hear you very well.
Okay, my name is Hassan Yusuf Al Hamadi. So I am planning to study industrial engineering, but I have a question. I saw the course requirements. Sorry, the core requirements. But I have a question about the course. Does it have some relations with, for example, mechanical engineering?
So no, it's not. It's different than mechanical engineering. So basically, the courses that we offer in our program in industrial and system engineering are specific to obviously this branch of engineering. In mechanical engineering, students will study forces, energy, things that are related to helping design mechanical systems. When you design mechanical system, you want to know what are the forces that will be involved, the stress, so then the parts will not break under the forces. And we mechanical engineers learn to do this, so then they can design, mechanical system that will be meeting the requirements of the client. In industrial and system engineering, we design operation. We can improve and design the way we organize operation, we organize systems, but also, like I mentioned before, the way we develop mechanical systems. For example, an airplane, you have systems engineers that help organize the work of the mechanical engineers, aerospace engineers, computer engineers, and so on, all these different engineering teams that are involved, because we need all this expertise to develop these complex systems, but we need also systems engineers to coordinate the work of these engineering teams. So that's one aspect of what industrial and systems engineers do. Again, industrial engineers, they will work in, for example, in manufacturing, where you're going to have mechanical engineers, but industrial engineers will help organize, design how the work will be done in the factory, how the machine will be placed, how the operation will be conducted, how the safety will be put in place, and all these different aspects that are important in any industry, in any organization. So that's what industrial and systems engineers do. They can also help design, factory in the agro industry, like a plant that produce milk or any kind of food. You need industrial engineers to help design this type of facilities and make their operation as efficient as possible. I hope I have answered to your question.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Professor. Thank you.
That was a great question, Hassan. So I have a question for Khalid. Khalid, what do you think like the most interesting facts about industrial and systems major?
Well, I think this is something that many I think organizations are not convinced with, or whoever doesn't know what industrial and systems engineering is that as long as you can identify an organization or any job as a system you can be working with. So you don't necessarily need to improve the process of it. If there's a project management, there is, I think the most fun or the most interesting idea or the fact that is that industrial engineering can or systems engineering can interfere with basically anything. From you can work in the police department, you can work in the military, you can work in manufacturing, you can work in even productions of military weapons. For example, Lockheed Martin are hiring and are looking for industrial and systems engineers. You can also work in EGA, even hospitals. So I think the potential of the industrial and systems engineering is limitless as long as you know what you're doing.
Very good.
Very good. This is
One more thing, if I can add, is just like to illustrate how industrial and system engineering started. You know, it started in during World War II, in the late 30s, where in the UK were under the bombardment of the German, airplanes, and they were not able to get supplies from the US, where the ships were bringing them, the supplies to resist. And so the military at that time went to the university in UK and asked the professors there to help them figure out how they can organize better this supply chain, the convoy of ships that were coming. And so this is when they started to brainstorm and try some probability of using this route or this route. And this is how basically they represented this problem as a model, and then tried to brainstorm and find solution to help the military during that war. And after this successful collaboration, this is how this new field of engineering started, basically. Obviously, at the beginning, it was mainly used by the military in the US that the system engineers helped to design with other engineers, of course, the military, the ballistic missile, the Apollo mission with NASA, all these complex missions, all these complex projects where, where a lot of system engineers contributed a lot to organize the different aspects of these complex missions. And after that, it went to more kind of commercial applications and business application. And now we have it in healthcare, we have it in finance, we have a lot of application. Basically, like Khaled said, anything can be represented as a system, and obviously using the systems skills, system engineering skills, we can improve, we can better design, we can optimize the way things are done in any system.
Thank you very much for this clarification, Doctor.
Welcome.
Can you, Doctor, please let us know about the minors that are available with this major, and which ones that you recommend to improve myself as an industrial system engineer?
Khaled, do you have any idea about the minors?
Yes, I think so far from what I know, there are two minors that you can apply for. You have the nuclear and the artificial intelligence as well. And as an industrial engineer, you can apply for the artificial intelligence. I actually wanted to do so, but it was too late for me. The minor was brought into the university or introduced to the university as in a I mean, to me, it wasn't too late for me.
Is it part of computer science or mathematical department?
It is part of computer science.
Computer science, okay.
Yeah. So actually, we have one of our students, Mohammed Adil. He's currently an AI minor. Also, the nuclear, I think you have to be a mechanical engineer, and you have to select a certain path to be able to be to apply for the minor. But
yeah,
I think so far these are the two main
minors. How about the business minor?
I have no idea what. I apologize. I don't know anything about this
Okay.
right now.
Yeah, no, just asking. I'm not sure if we have developed this
I
business
think
minor
we do
yet.
have.
Yeah.
I think it is in the website, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I will check with my with the chair, Dr. Mohammed Omar, and see about that. It's an important question to provide to our students.
Okay,
Yeah.
and one last question will be is about softwares. Like, what kind of software I'm using or I'm gonna learn while studying this major?
Khaled, do you want to
Yes,
answer?
of course. We have a lot of software that we are working on. For example, something I learned personally. I am an expert now in Microsoft Excel. So this is something you will learn through using and organizing a lot of data and analyzing through a lot of data. Other than the known softwares, we will be using software called Minitab, which is for mainly statistical analysis and experimental designs. We have a software called Simio, which is a software for simulation. And there's another simulation software called AnyLogic, which will be introduced in the advanced simulation course. We have a software called Flap, which is software for the facilities and warehousing course. We have also in the data information engineering, the students will be introduced to Microsoft Access, dealing with databases and analyzing data, making queries, also the SQL coding. So there are a lot of software that we are going to use. We used through our major.
Yeah, with the MS project also for project management course.
Yes, as well in project management.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it was not MS project. I think it was Crystal Ball.
Crystal Ball was for the PERT when we have uncertainty in the estimation. We used PERT or at risk. Now we have introduced also at risk, another simulation software when you have uncertainty in estimate of cost, for example, or duration. We can calculate the distribution of the output with at risk, for example, or Crystal Ball.
Thank you very much, Khalid. Final question, I promise.
Yeah, that's fine.
What's your goal and what's your objective once you graduate? What do you want to be? Where do you want to go?
Well, I'm thinking, my plan was to be working in a organization that is well known, and if I was aiming for Mubadala, but for me personally, in the long run, I'm planning to have my own businesses that are related to industrial and systems engineering, and possibly doing my own research, because I don't plan to, have enough education with the bachelor's. I'm aiming for masters, hopefully, inshallah, and hopefully PhD. But yeah, I mean, so like I said, the plans have been kind of. I'm in the process of rethinking because of COVID-19. A lot of things changed. So yeah, possibly also in waste management. That's something I am considering because when I asked, as Dr. Ali said, I'm working with Tadwir, and waste management is something that is not really looked at from the government perspective. Until recently, because the amount of waste that is being reused in the UAE is 25%, which is significantly low when compared to the other countries. And the UAE is now, the government is now aware of that, and we are making. I don't know if you've heard, but I think 1 month ago they opened the first recycling plant in Sharjah, which was a collaboration from Masdar and BIA. So we are becoming more and more aware of waste management, and I think it's a good field to be working in. It's a trending field in the UAE.
This is perfect. And by the way, it's totally normal that you are exploring different areas. That's your stage now. You are in the exploration stage of your life. So
Yep.
that's perfect. That's the actual thing that you should do right now in order to make up your decision. So yeah, thank you very much for this informative session. And for students, if they have any questions, we will forward them to you.
All right. Thank you very much for giving us
Thank you
this
very much.
opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too.